Not disconnected. We just connected now. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Not an issue, ma'am. Please welcome, ma'am. Please. Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good evening to one and all present here. In the beginning, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my mentor, Dr. Jayan sir, and to another my well-wisher, Dr. Pratiksha ma'am, and also Matt for giving me an opportunity to be here. So just give me just a moment. Let me just share this screen. Can you just
Yes.
confirm from your
Yeah.
end whether the
Yes.
screen
Yes.
is visible? Yes.
Visible.
I have
Good
put it
slides.
on slideshow mode.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Is
Yes.
it visible?
Now
Full
clear.
screen?
Clear. Yes. Clear.
Okay.
Clear.
Yes, visible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. With the blessings of all my seniors, all my teachers, and with blessings of my parents, let us just begin a kind of bit of a thought sharing session today on social emotional learning, a key to success. Before we go into the session, I will take you through some activities where you can see this that like the different emotions that is visible, these are visible on screen, and how did these emotions uh, you know first of all, if some of you can highlight uh, that what are the emotions did you experience maybe last couple of weeks, and how did that emotion impact your behavior and social behavior, better to say. So if you just like kind of some of you can tell me that what are all those things that you experienced, and what are like kind of what are the consequences of those emotions on your behavior. If you just share some of your thoughts here.
Person, you can unmute at your end. Rita, ma'am, kindly unmute.
Yes, yes. If you if
Participant
some of you
side, you can unmute.
sorry sir.
No, now participant can unmute themselves.
Anyone can would like to share?
Yes, ma'am. I was,
Yes.
that is sometime last week. I was a little sad. Sadness. I feel so. As soon as we feel no, we are in sadness. That it's difficult to move with our work.
Correct.
Some kind of work. It is difficult to move with that. And sometimes it was, happiness, and we feel it is happiness, so that the work will be going very fast. So
Correct.
that that is coming, again and again. Sometimes we must be in a position to manage it. So that's why I today I just joined the session so that I can get some inputs.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Just tell me, like what are all those emotions did you face in last couple of weeks, and what were the consequences of those emotions on your social interaction and social behavior? Yes, Tamil.
Maybe
Tamil raised hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
without the audio, not connected audio.
Okay. Never mind. Anyone else who would like to share at least one last couple of thought sharing session?
Yes,
Yes.
Dee, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Dave.
Yeah, ma'am. Sorry, this is Kunali.
Okay.
Yeah, my screen name shows Dheer. I'm sorry,
No
that's my
problem. No
son.
problem. No problem. Happen.
Yeah,
Hmm.
ma'am. Excessive worry,
Hmm.
and which has resulted in me actually not doing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have been doing is worrying about a particular thing and
Mm-hmm.
not able to work or focus on what I'm supposed to.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
sharing your input. And the last person, maybe somebody else could share.
Ma'am, MS me.
Yes.
Yeah, last 2 3 weeks, it was very stressful because
Mhm.
my business is not going good.
Okay.
So due to the COVID pandemic,
Mhm.
so stress is going on, tension. That's what I was feeling now.
Okay. And how, like definitely, like the stress part that you mentioned, if I'm not wrong, if I've understood it correctly, it was basically the kind of distress form because stress has both positive and negative impact. But then, like probably the uh, distress one you felt, you experienced last couple of weeks. So how did this
Yeah.
impact your social behavior? Any input you would like to share?
Yeah, sometimes I'll get angry to my
Mm-hmm.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. So, but
Yes.
I'm managing it.
Yes, that's also I wanted to hear. Thank you very much for giving me this input. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
now thank you very much. Uh, Thank you very much to all of you who shared your experiences. Yes, I got it from your experiences that like I have understood that uh, emotions that we experience and it has certain impact on our, social behavior. Okay, and like sometimes in order to adapt to the situations because like stress is inevitable in our kind of it's there in our everyday life, so in order to manage the situation effectively we sometimes we need, I mean, we have learned or we are still learning certain skills that will help us to uh, deal with the situations more effectively. Because I know some of the participants mentioned that yes, I am in a stressful situations. I was experiencing a very stressed out, but still I'm managing. Sometimes it's impacting my behavior, social behavior, interaction, but still I'm managing. Okay. So with this, we will move ahead and we will try to understand today's topic of discussion, that is social emotional learning. Okay. So let us just go ahead, try to understand what it is. It is the process, what you can see, it is the process of developing and using certain skills, attitudes, behavior, knowledge that help uh, us. Okay. This definition is given by I know Collaborative Academic Social Emotional Learning Society 2012. They proposed uh, a model that is known as IDM model. IDM model. I stands for identify and regulate emotions, which was already mentioned by one of our participants. That I mean, all of our participants they have identified their emotions and they're trying to regulate it so that it's not going to impact their social interactions or social behavior. Okay, and they also, why do they do that? Because the next part that is very important is that developing positive relationship, that is important. Okay, and the last one is that uh, is to make a responsible decision. Okay, so these three things are very important in our day-to-day life and we need to kind of what should I say, to learn ACL so that we are going to be competent enough to deal with our environment. Okay, so moving ahead, I've given a few very, like in-depth definition of ACL. It is a kind of integral part of education and human development. We, by the time we have understood that mm, it helps us to uh, to grow in a holistic manner. Okay, And also, this is a process through which people, they acquire and apply the knowledge, the skills and attitudes, KSA, the knowledge, skills, and attitude, in order to develop healthier identities. Because some of our participants already mentioned that, yes, I'm trying to manage it. And that's what I have joined this webinar, that getting some tips to manage it better, right? So that healthy identities we want to develop, we want to manage our emotions effectively. And uh, and why do we do that? The goal should be is to achieve our personal goal and the collective goal, because we are social beings. So only uh, we are not concerned about ourselves, we are also concerned about our society, the entire family, the community. Okay, and feel empathic for others. This will also help you to learn to feel empathic, to learn empathy and to feel empathic. And this will also help you to maintain a supportive relationship and making a kind of responsible and caring decision in life. Because, you know, in every day, every moment, we have been given different options. We are actually getting a hell lot of options, from options A to option C. We are getting, just for example. And then now you have to make a certain decision. These are the alternatives that are available to you. Now you have to make certain decisions, that which option you would like to go for, which decision you would, like you have to make certain decisions, which options you would like to go for. So making these decisions, for making, like decisions, for decision making, for making certain decisions, we actually, try to weigh different pros and cons of each and every options that we all have. And then we try to make certain decisions, which, go for certain option, which option we would like to go for. And we are responsible for whatever decisions that we are going to take. Okay, so this is what the overall kind of the concept of ACL. Let us just try to understand what the kind of a particular model based on which ACL has been developed, has been built. So that there are at the center, you can see in this model, you can see that ACL has few uh, five main components. And also you are getting this kind of the other circles, which will tell you that it is actually a very pervasive in nature. Yes, it is actually pervasive in nature. That means it is there in your classroom, it is there in your school, it is there in your institutions, your family, your community, your entire life. Okay, so let us just first understand what are the five components of SEL. So moving ahead, the first one is self-awareness. Okay, so self-awareness, what it is. We all know that it is an ability to accurately recognize one's own emotions, thoughts that influence my behavior, right? It includes accurately assessing one's strengths and limitations. And also having a kind of, this will give you, the moment you will be aware of your strengths and limitations. I would also will tell you, if you ask me, I want to add two more dimensions to this, strengths and limitations. That is, also we need to be aware of our opportunities in the environment, and also the threats that are there in the environment, because all these four things are very important. I repeat, we need to be aware of our emotions, we need to be aware of our strengths, our weaknesses, and the opportunities that we have, and the threats that we have in the environment. And that is why in organizational psychology, the concept of SWOT analysis is very important. Okay, in order to be effective, we all need to do SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Right? So, why do we need to do that? I have given a few examples of few questions which we can be, we can self-assess ourselves. Okay, so what are my thoughts and feelings, and what are the causes of these feelings and thoughts? Because all of our participants who took part in that initial discussion, they have identified recognized their emotions, and they like they know the cause of their behavior, the thoughts and the feelings as well. So we need to accurately assess the strength and the limitations, because the moment we know these are my strengths, I can nurture it, I can excel in those things. The moment I know these are my limitations, don't get disheartened, because no one is perfect on this world. Okay, but it is better to understand what are my limitations. The moment I will be aware of my limitations, the benefit of that is that I can collaborate with a person who can, compensate some of my limitations and help me to convert some of my limitations into my strength. That's a very important thing that we need to do. And the last two things, which are related to the environment, which are not related to the self, which are related to the environment, that is the opportunities. You need to grab the opportunities there in the environment. I'm not asking you to be opportunistic. I'm telling you just to grab the opportunity, because opportunities are there for you so that you can utilize them, and you can, kind of explore your potential. And also you need to know what are the threats there in the environment so that you can prepare yourself for that beforehand. So that whenever, as and when you are going to face certain stresses, you will be prepared, mentally prepared to deal with that effectively. So that is what the concept of self-awareness. Moving ahead, which is the next component of ACL, is that self-management. Now, the first part is definitely awareness. I'm aware of myself, my emotions. I'm aware of my strengths and limitations, weaknesses. But then what do I do with that? Because some of my participants already mentioned that I'm trying to manage it. Yes, they are actually very high on self-management as well. This is an ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, behavior effectively in different situations, especially as and when you confront to a stressful situation. Because you cannot avoid it. What you can do, the moment you start avoiding it, for the time being, you will feel that, okay, I have just avoided the stresses in my life. And then it is actually not getting solved. It is there. It is getting accumulated with your another set of stresses in your life. So it's better to deal with that, and better to manage the stress, control your impulses, motivate yourself. Nobody can motivate you until unless you are motivating yourself. Yes, mentors are needed, because I do have mentor in my life. I already mentioned Dr. Jain sir is my mentor in my life. He always has motivated me. But then in the end of the day, I have to motivate myself. Why do we do that? We do it to achieve personal academic goals. Okay, so self-awareness followed by self-management. Let's see what's next. Sorry. So, yeah, sorry. Social awareness. Now, as I told you, that we are social being. We cannot live in isolation. So the moment I'm aware of myself, I'm better able to manage my emotions, myself, my strengths and weaknesses. The next part definitely is to make myself aware of the society. Society is very important because society is, it acts as a kind of looking glass to you. We all have a, like when like you are driving, we look at the looking glass to see the other car's position. Society is also like a looking glass to you. It will help you to understand you yourself better. So I'm, like my mentor has given me an opportunity to share some of my knowledge with you all, learned people. And that is, the society is important to me, because if you are not there, what will I do here? I will speak alone. Will that motivate me? No. Right. So that means society is important, and that means social awareness is very important. It is the ability to take the perspective, empathize with others from the diverse background and cultures, to understand the norms of a culture or a particular behavior, recognize the family, school, and community resources. That is also very important. What are the resources do you have in a society? You utilize it. We generally don't do it. We try to, like seek help from somebody else. But we don't know that there are many people who are there in my environment, in my community, who are the best person, who are very resourceful in. So better use their resources, use their, their capabilities to enrich yourself. So in order to be social aware, you can ask certain questions to yourself, that how can you better, understand people's thought, because it is very important to put yourself in others' shoes. It is very important. And it is also important to feel for others, take their perspective. Perspective taking is important. When we talk about so, social behavior, perspective taking is important. So that part we also need to be little aware of. And the next one is relationship skills. When we talk about society, relationship will definitely come. So you have a different relationship. You have a relationship of a friendship in the form of a friendship, intimate relationships, relationship there in the hierarchy, like your relationship with your mentor, your relationship with your teacher, very intimate relationship, your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your, another form of intimate relationship, that is a parent, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your words, your children. So you need to have a kind of healthier and rewarding relationship with others. And not only in your own family, but also with others as well. So when you are interacting with your colleagues, okay, try to listen to them actively. We sometimes we do interact with an intention to win over the entire argument. So it should not be the aim of a kind of effective relationship. So you communicate clearly with them. So the moment you think that you cannot do anything for them, tell them clearly, say no to them clearly. That is also a very effective communication. Sometimes try, cooperate them, listen to them properly, and negotiating with certain conflict. I would say not avoiding, but at least kind of understanding the actual cause of conflict, and we try to collaborate. It's very important to do that. rather than avoiding the conflict. Also, it's not, not bad to seek help from others. So we sometimes we feel that, "Oh, I will seek help from the next person. What will he or she think?" There lies the problem. Why? Because the moment you are not saying that, "See, I need this help from you. I'm not going to collaborate with you." The moment I say, "Yes, I don't know this, let me understand it from you," and another person will also tell you that, "Okay, I don't know this, so let me understand from you." So we will develop a kind of collaborative community rather than having a kind of a very egoistic community that where everybody pretends that they know everything. As I told you, no one is perfect on this world. Okay, so that is very important. You need to adjust with others. You need to communicate your expectations, and you also need to set a certain boundaries of their expectations. So you cannot fulfill all the boundaries. You have certain, the kind of uh, certain kind of boundary between you and somebody else. Because the moment they are crossing their boundary, it is actually going to be a kind of misunderstanding between you and the next person. So that is very important in every social relationship building. And the last component, the fifth one, is that responsible decision making. Let me tell you, this is the ultimate thing that we need to do in our life. It is an ability to make constructive, respectful decisions, choices in your personal behavior and in social interactions, considering the concern of others, realistic evaluations, consequences, and the well-being of self and others. Yes, that is important. Self-love, not excessive, but self-love is important. You respect yourself, then only you will be respecting others as well. You take care of yourself first, you think of you first, followed by others. That is very important. And you also should align your choices with your values, should be aligned. You value something and your choice goes in a completely different direction. That will actually create a lot of dissonance within you, cognitive dissonance within you. So it's better to align your choices and the values. It's better to the kind of go for a kind of respectful choices of your personal behavior as well as social interaction. Keeping yourself first, giving yourself the priority, followed by others. That is very important. And then only you will be able to manage your problems effectively. So these are, in a nutshell, these are the 5 major components of SEL. You can see, probably some of you have already started thinking that SEL, is it actually emotional intelligence? I might say it is not emotional intelligence per se, but SEL leads to emotional intelligence, intelligent people. You are right. Yes, because SEL is a process. It's a process which will help you to be more emotionally intelligent. SEL will nurture your emotional intelligence, and there is a connect between this thing. So you can see this image that actually SEL is nurturing emotional intelligence. It helps you to grow. So some of the potential benefits of SEL. Meanwhile, you all probably will, if I understood, you have understood that that there are certain potential benefits of SEL, and it has certain, like some certain important importance there in the students' education and overall development. It helps them to increase their competitive advantage. What is this type? I mean, what do I try to mean by this? I try to mean by this that, when you gather, you acquire knowledge, you get, the highest degree of a university. Even after that, you are not complete until and unless you are socially, emotionally competent person. So that will give you a kind of extra weightage to your CV, which is not written. The most beautiful part of this, it is not written. It is not written in CV that this fellow is socially, emotionally intelligent. Your degrees are there. Your conference attended, webinars attended would be there. But this part is not written. But you have to show it every moment. It helps you to develop sound mental health and thereby facilitating your well-being. It helps you to develop a positive social behavior, peer relations, fewer conduct problems, less emotional distress. Some of my participants already, they mentioned that they're feeling very stressed out. And that stress is basically a distress in the form of a distress, basically. So that can be better managed with this SEL. Now, it will also help you to improve your attitude. It will also help improve your behavioral pattern. Group effectiveness, as I told you, that we are a social being, so we always wanted to be in a group, right? And in a group, you need, you have to adjust with others' demands, right? So, extent to which you are going to adjust with the demand, and extent to like where you would like to what should I call the when you like to raise your voice, that boundary would be set by you. If that is the like the if you can maintain a proper balance in that I have to raise my voice right now, and then I have to adjust with others demands right now. If you can set a kind of boundary between the two, you will be most effective in the group situations. Because in most of the cases these days, you can see, you have to work in a team. Individual work is not getting appreciation these days. So you have to work in a team. If you want to do something unique, you have to be there in team. You have to work together. So that is also important. Personal management, already mentioned several times that goal setting or self-motivation is also being facilitated by SEL. And it facilitates your teamwork. Yes, already mentioned. It helps you to better cope up with the stressors. As I told you, stress is inevitable, so you cannot simply avoid it. So what you can do, you can kind of better understand the situations, and you can go for a much more functional coping strategy, right? And that coping, you need to learn, like with experience, how to deal with that, how to give it a new shape to this environment, to this stressor, and how to deal with this. And you have to approach them. You have to have go for problem solving coping strategy rather than withdrawal or dysfunctional one, because problem solving coping strategy will help you to better deal with the stress. It and when you are like when you are dealing effectively in a group, definitely the level of aggression disruptions will go down, and less likely to drop out or quit. Here, do not only think that drop out from a school perspective, quit from a school perspective, but also quit from a particular relationship. So I have a problem with another person. So what do I do? There are many options. Simple options, simple to super, apparently simple that, okay, let's just leave the relationship. Let's quit. Will not talk to you. He will not talk to me. That's it. Is it a very kind of very valid or logical, uh, way of dealing with the problem? No. You need to know. You need to identify what are the problems going between you and the next person. You need to identify. You go to the like go for a root cause analysis, and then you try to uh, go for certain way out to that problem. So that is very important, and SEL will help you to better learn those things. Here there is a model. It has been taken from again Castle. Uh, that how does SEL promote success in school and life? Why especially in school? Why the first point is school? Because we start with school and then we'll go for a bigger life or professional life. So it's school and life. It comes, like it will cover the entire thing. So ACL, as I told you, there are certain basic components of ACL: self-awareness, management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. And as well as, in addition to the certain, positive learning environment in school, in institutions, the safer environment in school, psychologically safer environment, I might say. The moment I say safer, it's not always physically safe. Physical safety is important. In addition to that, psychological safety, caring, well managed, engaging. Like whether teachers are going to engage you in your day-to-day activities. Is it a kind of only one-way teaching they are doing? They are coming to the class and simply delivering the lecture and don't care whether you have understood or not, whether this sort of teaching behavior pattern you do follow, or do they go for a kind of engaging one? They will engage you in their discussion. And also kind of they whether whether they expect anything from you or not. Because if a teacher is not going to expect anything from you, you are not feeling like kind of sharing her thoughts. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say, the teachers must have certain expectations, not unnecessary expectations, but then at least must have certain expectations. So that expectations will help you to better kind of interact in a in a classroom situations as well. And if we have that uh, the ACL instruction in the school, in the college, as well as this proper positive learning environment climate, together they will lead to some short-term outcomes. And of course, the long-term outcomes would be the greater success in school life, work life, maintaining a work-life balance, nothing like maintaining a quality of life. Okay, here the quality definitely is not getting influenced by the like the kind of tangible aspect only, the money and everything, but also the mental peace that you have, the productivity, your productivity will be like you will be much more productive. So that is a kind of model which is like has been proven over time that if we can implement SEL in the school, college institutions, at workplace, that will lead to short-term and long-term outcomes. Moving ahead, certain, as I already mentioned, that some of this developing ACL, how can we develop ACL in schools? I mean, first, because I have given a lot of emphasis on the school, college environment, university setup, because um, we, the teachers, they're going to prepare our students for their real life. So if we cannot implement SEL in our school setup, in our family setup, then it is very difficult for to build up an emotionally competent person. So we can, as I already mentioned, that we can provide safe, supportive, protective school atmosphere. It's very important. How can we do that? Because basically, let me tell you, at our university, Amit University, we are doing it continuously. We are actually, respect our students' communications. We actually have a kind of interactive sessions in the class. We give emphasis on the individual differences. I may be good at something else, you may be good at something else. So you no need to, you do not have any right to humiliate me. So that is very important. We are also a bit sensitive to the emotions of others. And we are properly managing our own emotions. And we also, help them to understand the quality of interpersonal relationships by teaching them or introducing a particular subject across different disciplines, that is behavioral science. We have that. I mean, I'm trying to relate it to my university, and I hope many of you also will be able to relate to your university institutions or college or school, wherever you are, or maybe at your workplace. Yes, we also, kind of try to facilitate the creative thinking by giving them certain projects and asking them to design how will they how would they like to carry out the project, right? So that is very important. And also we try to boost their socio-emotional skills by increasing their productive class timing and thereby managing or rather decreasing disruptive behavioral pattern, because the campus over here is free from ragging. So if you have that, like if you're experiencing that thing, you will have a proper channel where you can report and the necessary actions has already been taken. So this is another kind of pro-social classroom model. It is also taken from Castle, another one of their research work, and it is actually a kind of, it's the best part of this model, I might say, that it gives an emphasis on this teacher's socio-emotional competence, which actually leads to a student's socio-emotional competence. And that's why I'm telling, as I told you, I started by saying that it's a kind of a model which is present everywhere. It is not that only students need to be as high on social, emotional, competence. It's also teachers need to be there because they are actually trying to inculcate the sense in them. That is very important. So you should have a healthy teacher-student relationship, effective classroom management, and of course, all the other, as I already mentioned, all the other dimensions of SEL should be implemented properly in the classroom. And let me tell you, there is no thumb rule. The way you would like to design, you have to design based on the situations that you have, the students that you have. And this will actually give you a kind of healthier classroom climate, and which is actually will help you to develop your students to help your students to develop SEL, make them more competent, as well as it will also help them to grow internally. Emotional literacy program also already being mentioned with some other examples, that identifying the name of the emotions. It can also have certain, certain activities in the class. Teachers can go for certain activities in the class. That in a class they can ask a student to, name certain emotions that they are experiencing. Then the feelings associated with that emotions, and ask them to design certain strategy to deal with that emotion. That means a kind of emotional regulation. That is very important. And that also helps them to understand, because when a student is designing certain strategies or strategies of emotional regulation, some strategies could be adaptive, some strategies could be maladaptive. Now, a teacher is a person who can tell them to distinguish between what are the bad things, bad means maladaptive ones, what are the good things, good strategies they have already designed. If the moment the student would be taught this sort of distinction between these two, the teacher, the student will learn that kind of the effective strategy to deal with the certain stresses. And that would be the best learning for them. It's kind of self-learning. So it can be practiced in a classroom situation. Other than this, whatever I discussed, some of the very common thing that we also do follow at our university, that a kind of we also can have a kind of building up certain build certain emotional vocabulary. Okay, so it is nothing but that going for a kind of art or expression, certain kind of expression, maybe organizing a skit to express your emotions, certain games to express your emotions, that will better help them to express their emotions, other than you simply say that, okay, beta, you express your emotions. That will not work. Okay. Yes, reflecting on your on your emotions, uh, some kind of role playing. If we can have like maybe a role playing based on the concept of bullying, then if if we implement this sort of strategies, I can better understand that what will I feel, how will I feel, better to say, how will I feel if I'm being bullied in front of others. So it's a kind of role playing activities could be done in order to make them better understand that how others will also feel when you bully them, right? Perspective notes, very important. Okay, so and also try to give try to stress them to some extent, kind of to go go for certain unusual conclusion in life, something different. Traditional thing will not always help you. Sometimes going a bit off the track will help, so you better do that. Some curricular, so extracurricular activities, project-based learning. As I already told you, that we used to have a kind of project-based learning at our university. Daily emotional check-in, if not daily, at least regular. Journaling, yes, that is very important. So give them also, maintain them certain journal, kind of daily logbook or certain kind of things, which will help them to better manage their emotions. Share exchanges, the with parents. So we also do have a kind of parent teacher meeting. We have named it as a kind of parent interactive forum. So it is actually a kind of not complaining the child against the child, but it's a kind of something what should I say, it's a kind of interaction between teacher and a parent, because parents also they are admitting their child in your institutions with certain expectations. So let's hear from them, extent to which you can fulfill some of their expectations. Let's have a plan. Let's talk out with, with the help of your parents, the parents in the organization, in the schools, in the that your institutions. Diversity in the classroom must be celebrated. So, as I told you, that then the kind of nobody is going to humiliate the next person. That is needs to be celebrated. Somebody is good at art, somebody is good at dancing, somebody is good at painting, somebody is good at something else. Give him or her to enough chance to express, so that everybody will learn to respect each other. Some more things on this that maybe listen to your students' perspective. Listen to them with a non-judgmental attitude. Consistent with your routine, you should follow certain routine. Then only you can teach students to follow certain routine, which is very important. What you exhibit, students will observe you and they will imitate it and they will exhibit in turn. So you need to be very consistent. And you also need to tell them that I am not always, the complete person, but nothing is impossible. Everything is possible, provided that you can do something right away. Probably you do not have that capability, but you are still learning. So that is very important. Sports, self-regulation, very important. Meditation, yoga, peer mentoring is important. It's, we also do have a kind of peer mentoring that sometimes we give responsibilities to our CRs. We tell them that CRs, we tell CRs that you communicate these things with your friends. Friends will better understand that rather than a teacher is communicating. So you build up a buddy. They will learn from each other rather than they will learn from you. You are there to guide them always, but you also you develop a kind of peer mentoring. Yoga, meditation to some extent will also help them to better, unite their soul and the body. And some ACL, that the last part of this webinar, I would like to highlight you certain things which is already being discussed. But at this moment, as we are dealing with uncertainty, lot of uncertainty. So let me quickly take you through certain things which are importance of SEL during this COVID-19. Okay, because we are in a kind of new normal situation. So, like we are trying to adapt to that. Sometimes we have adapted to it. We didn't have any choice. So emotion regulation is important. And SEL will help you to better deal with your emotion regulation because, student community, they're facing the greatest problem these days because of the school closures. It is actually impacting on their learning process. Self-efficacy also, like they have lost the kind of the charm of offline classes. Students are facing this problem mainly. They have lost the charm of classes. So they are actually a bit hesitant towards their capabilities, capacity. So you as a teacher, you need to kind of build up their efficacy, make them efficacious, so that so that they can explore their potential to the fullest. That is important. Social skills have been, like students are not able to meet their friends. So this particular, at least physically, meeting is not possible. So they're actually, facing a greatest problem over there. So they cannot exchange their ideas, Over phone, always everything cannot be done. So you as a teacher, you need to, you know, um, kind of invite more and more kind of class participation from them in order to engage them so that they can maintain their social skills. Mental health overall, it is yes, their mental health, like it's getting disrupted. So you need to engage them in different activities other than your, in addition to your academic activities, so that you can restore their mental health. And already mentioned that ACL has certain long-term and short-term benefits. So I'm not again going to tell you. These are the few research findings. So it, like it showed that ACL has certain impact on student behavior, improving their grades, reducing absenteeism, suspensions, and all. And it can also improve self-perceptions. These are the research findings. I have few findings I have mentioned over here. Can decrease the behavioral problems as and when the child is getting kind of progressing. And teacher, it, as I told you, the teacher, it also impacts, it has certain impact on teacher. So teacher's sense of job satisfaction, self-efficacy is getting increased. This is something, as I told you, that we need to practice these things. We need to practice at home as well. That we need to be grateful to others. We are here. We are still alive. We are here with all learned person. I'm grateful. People are listening to me. Like they are paying attention to my words. I'm grateful to them. So we should have this gratitude jar full in the classroom as well. Teacher also needs to teach them that you need to express your gratitude for whatever you have. And also these are the couple of, kind of exercises, class activities that you can do. Stop and listen to others. That is very important. Kind of happy ending note. So I'm happy because people, organizers, they have given me a chance to express whatever, I mean, to, tell you whatever I know, and get moving. Do not get stuck anywhere. Take a deep breath. That part or definitely would be better explained by Dr. Jan Nambudiri sir, because I have learned it from him. So these are a couple of things. Draw your worry. The moment you will be able to draw your worry, you will also, like you will identify, recognize your, emotions. So that is important. These are the couple of quotes which will help you to develop a growth mindset. Okay, you should not have any fixed mindset that okay, I have decided to be like this and I have to be this no matter what happens. No, be flexible. World will, you will perceive the world will is also flexible to you. Yes, we also, organize, as I told you, at my university, we also organize some extracurricular activities. When we were there offline, we used to have a kind of rangoli competition. We used to have a kind of, um, um, designing your classroom during on the day of Mahalaya competition. So it is actually will help you to work in a team. You will learn how to work in a team. Okay, and yes, I might say that the moment we talk about the self, as I told you, self is important, followed by others. The self meaning is that the social emotional learning filter. You have to filter out your negativity, and there is nothing wrong in that, because I also do have negativity. Everybody has certain negativity. Everybody has certain positivity. So you filter it out simply. Okay. Don't bottle up all these negative things. So even if you are angry, just try to find out the cause, and just don't bottle it up. That's what I want to see. I want to tell you. And this is something which I want to tell you, that friendship is not something that you learn in the school, but if you haven't uh, learned the meaning of friendship, you really haven't learned anything. Okay, so that is very important. I am thankful to you all, and my jar, this jar is filled with thanks. And last thing that I would like to tell you, that is in this particular link, I don't know whether this link would be, like will be functional or not. I will try to play it from my end. There are certain, those who are the parents, those who are the teachers over here, I hope all of you are. So you will get some link of this movie, some movies, which will actually, based on this concept of social emotional learning. So let me just, sir, with your permission, can I just?
Yes,
play-
sure. Continue.
Thank you. So can I just stop share the screen so that I can
Okay,
put the link
Okay.
in the Google and I can play it?
okay.
Thank you. Give me a moment. Yeah, just a moment, please. Is this screen visible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just confirm whether the sound is also, it is also audible?
Okay.
Is it
Here
audible?
are 10
Yes.
So can I play, sir?
Yeah, sure.
popular movies to help teach social and emotional learning in your classroom. Number 1, Inside Out.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
This modern animated classic is all about emotions.
We're gonna find out what's happening.
The touching story lets kids explore the power of feelings and why it's important to express them. Number 2, Science Fair.
You're not going to cure cancer, you're going to prevent cancer.
Yes!
Following groups of students competing in a science fair, this documentary highlights the perseverance, teamwork, and communication it takes to succeed on an international level.
If you're there just to win the prize, you're missing the point of science fair.
Number 3, Far from the Tree.
It's the same message our whole lives. There's something wrong with you and we need to fix it. I don't think I need to be fixed.
This moving documentary is about parents learning to raise kids who are unlike themselves. Students will learn how we can all work through our differences using empathy and tolerance.
I was investigating the very nature of family itself.
Number 4, RBG.
We welcome today Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg headlines this documentary about her life and career.
Every time Justice Ginsburg wrote a dissent, the internet would explode.
Politics aside, students can see how Ginsburg maintained integrity in her private trials and public fights.
You are not ugly, and anyone who cares to know you will see that.
Number 5, Wonder. Even if they've read the book, students are sure to get emotional over this story of a 5th grader born with a facial abnormality. It's a great conversation starter on the importance of understanding others and standing up for what's right. Number 6, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Low production values, simple set, unlikely star. Yet, it worked.
This biopic showcases Fred Rogers' passion for inspiring integrity and kindness. The classic children's show featured open discussion of tough topics.
What does assassination mean?
So have your students debate whether or not they think this was beneficial to kids' social and emotional learning. Number 7, arrival.
They need to see me.
Dr. Banks? Are you insane?
Communication is front and center in this sci-fi alien tale. The main character's struggles and successes to reach across difference can spark discussion about students' own challenges at school and in their lives.
This is just a way to force us to work together for once.
Number 8, Liana.
Once upon a time, there was a girl they called her Liana.
Open your students up to new perspectives in this emotional story of a group of African orphans and the fictional tale they created around their often emotional experiences.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
Number 9, Black Panther. Here's an opportunity to take a film kids already love and show them how popular Marvel superhero characters handle challenging situations with integrity, decisiveness, and teamwork.
We are home.
And number 10, 8th grade.
Hey guys, it's Kayla back with another video.
Clearly a controversial pick for the classroom, this R-rated film has been screened in many schools across the country. It's an opportunity for students to discuss whether the issues in the film are true to real life. And it's a chance for kids to talk about how they might deal with these types of experiences themselves.
You never know what's next, and that's what makes things exciting and scary.
For more movie picks and advice on showing films in your classroom, visit us at commonsense.org/education.
That's it from my end, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks to all for hearing me patiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. First, a big gratitude from our side. And social emotional learning explained very simply and how it affects in our daily life. Thank you very much. Now participants, you can unmute your end and ask questions. If any question you have, you can. Mr. Matt. Yes, Joseph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Okay.
My network is not stable. That is the problem.
Okay.
Extremely sorry because of the initial part I could miss because of this fluctuation in my net connection. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Very thought-provoking. And usually, I was thinking that initially you were telling SL. No. Usually we will be learning that sell means selling, is it not? But here it is emotional, social, emotional learning, the entirely different subject. And the subject was very nice. You have presented the teacher social, emotional, as well as healthy teacher and student relationship. It's a very nicely you have presented. And one thing I would like to ask you one question. The prospective notes, in that journaling means as usual our daily journal, is it not? We used to prepare journal. Likewise, we will motivate them to prepare themselves, journal.
Yes, actually, it is a kind of maintaining a daily logbook type of thing.
Okay.
That is what I meant.
Then daily emotional check also you are mentioning.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is something. Sir, may I say something over here?
Yes, continue.
Okay. By emotional check, I meant to say that first of all, one part is I'm writing it down, whatever positive and negative emotions I do experience. That is the part of maintaining a daily log.
Okay.
And emotional check is that recognizing that what are those positive and negative emotions that I do experiences. Okay. And like the moment I am aware and I can recognize my emotions, it would be easier for me to build up certain strategy to deal with those emotions. Because we generally, when we do not maintain the log book, that we do not do the journaling and we do not do the daily check-ins in the in emotions, what we do, we have a tendency to remember only the negative things. right? So suppose at the time of presenting this particular thing, if you remember, I know, like, if I know, like, sir helped me a lot, and Pratiksha ma'am also there. uh, I just got disconnected. So, and then they patiently manage this entire thing. So this will actually help you the moment I'm having a certain kind of strategy, that how, even if it is a negative situations, because we do not have any control over this negative situation, because you also mentioned, sir, that you are facing some network issues. So that's a kind of negative things, right? But then you, overcome it, and you rejoined, again got disconnected, again you rejoined, and then now we are talking to each other. So this is something which is, this enthusiasm is something we need to develop. Okay, we should not be very kind of frustrated that, okay, I am having a network issue, so let's not doing this. So if you simply log out and you don't log in, thinking that I'm having network issues, so maybe bad luck this time. So there is nothing called bad luck. We perceive it. That's what I wanted to say. So we should have this resilience as well, because I attended some of sir's, Jayan sir's, kind of webinars. It is on resilience. I attended maths, emotional intelligent webinars, right? So it is actually, how can we make ourselves more resilient, more hopeful, not unrealistically hopeful, but realistically hopeful. So that is something which will help. I meant to say that. Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Nice comparison, madam. Okay, present situation you have compared. Thank you, madam. Then one more thing, share and exchange. Sell module with the parents. That is also a very good idea, because in our schools, no, usually teacher and students alone, and very rarely only where they are discussing with the parents. But this type of method means the module, what we are going to learn the children, teach the children, that they can also share and follow. Is it not? That is a good idea. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I thank you very much, sir. I have learned it from my universities, because whatever, as I told you, whatever I, the points that I have put it, okay, I have actually keeping my university's entire system in my mind. I have jotted down them together. So thank you very much, sir, for your input on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Max.
Hi, hello. Dr. Rita, that was an excellent presentation. Very well done. I like how you explained SEL, so simple and so many benefits, and it affects us every bit of every life, right? And it's just great.
I also attended many of your EQ sessions, which was actually nicely mentioned, and you explained with very real life examples. So I also learned many things from your sessions. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, Narendra, sir.
And I like it. You said that you're using the SEL strategies at Amity. That's very cool too. Did you know Dr. Dean by any chance? He was my co-founder of the nonprofit. Did you meet him by any chance? He was at Amity a number of times.
Who you were talking about? Sorry, I couldn't get the last point. I couldn't hear the last point. What did you say?
Did you know Dr. Dean?
Yes, yes.
Did you meet him? You did?
Yes, yes.
Great, yeah.
I did not physically meet him, but we met several times in different, meetings, and used to deliver certain lectures on that. So yeah, I have come across. I had the opportunity to listen to him.
Nice. He spoke very highly of Amity. He had wonderful experiences there and was so impressed that everybody wanted to put these power of SEL to use. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Narendra, sir.
Thanks, Jayan, too.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Putting this all together.
Sir. Yes, I saw in the phone. Yes, sir. Kindly unmute. Narendra sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening to all. Thank you very much, Rita ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Because I am also involving in a promoting a mental wellness in classroom in Nepal, and I have designed a one course that is suitable for our cultural group. So I have also one component on that SEL, how we will develop in a SEL in our community schools and children. So I get more insights how we will do more elaborative form in a SEL. And thank you very much, and very much practical. And nowadays this is the need of time. I can say this is the need of time for our children, because nowadays we are more disconnected with our community social interaction. So I think it make more contributing in our children's mental well-being. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I'm honored, sir.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
honored.
Now,
Thank you
Jain
very
sir,
much.
to arrange this one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, Josana ma'am.
Hello, friends, sir. So, yes, so due to power cut, I was not able to attend all your presentation, ma'am. But what I attended, that was very much effective, as I'm also working as a school psychologist in a private school. So that is very helpful for me. So in Nepal, in most of the school, we teachers are not teachers do not know about the emotional intelligence to handle the emotion, and they don't have they don't understand about the kids' emotion. So that is very important, as I also conduct the training to the teachers. So this session is really helpful for me. So thank you so much, Dr. Rita, for your presentation. And thank you, Jayan sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I'm honored, ma'am. I'm honored. Thank you, ma'am, for your input.
Yeah, Partha sir. Sir, you can unmute.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, Dr. Rita.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Actually, you have a very nice presentation dedicated to you. My small question is, do you think in SEL, ELP or role play be effective or beneficial to, if arranged in a school, especially in the village area, to eradicate social taboo for parents as well as the children, like girl child marriage or like that? If you can say a word or two, there's a very, it is not the activity for the, there is a very small amount of percentage the children were learning in city, but there's a large amount of more than 80% in the Indian villages. And so it is our the professionals like we are working in the mental health area. So if it can be spread like this way, so if you can deliver about say about what, thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for giving me a new dimension to think through. Yes, even till date, because I was also delivering a certain lecture in some central government institute on mental health, on the day of mental health awareness. So it started by saying, asking them certain questions, sir. I asked them very simple questions that if you have some problem in your teeth, which doctor would you like to consult? They said that what you are asking, ma'am, everybody knows this answer. So they said that definitely go for a dentist. If I'm saying, I asked them that when like you have some problems in your in some orthopedic problems, then which doctor would you consult? So they said definitely some orthopedic doctors, like orthopedic surgeon if needed, if required. Then if you have some problem in your mind, which doctor would you consult? They said that they were the learned people. They said that yes, maybe a mental health practitioner, maybe a counselor, maybe a psychiatrist. But then even till date, going for a psychiatrist, going for a mental health practitioner is till date a taboo, because we we only think, especially in a bit interior, okay, especially in a rural area, interiors, we till date we think that talking about mental health, it's a kind of taboo, it's a matter of shame, stigma, and like they do not consider that mind also need to be cleaned up the way we clean up our body every day. So like only cleaning up your mind, it means that the person is a mad, which that particular word is not there in the dictionary of a psychologist. Okay, they generally have these things. And also you raise the point, I mean, however, I could not hear the exactly the because some network issues, I couldn't hear the exact question, but I heard this term that you talked about, girls the marriage at a very early age, right? So the education for a girl child or as well. Okay, so that is also need to be spread, this idea, because when in some interior in the rural area, we still do consider a girl child as a commodity. So
Yeah,
like you
ma'am.
don't like, yeah, yes,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you correctly point. Actually, that if we arrange for the children or but we have to take the root of the thought process in the culture, because the first teachers, you agree with me, parents are the first teachers. So they coming from the home to the school, and if we don't hit at the root, so the taboo remains. So the first is required for the at least make it in some role play or drama or whatever. It not should be included for the children only. It should be the entire village, entire area, because the
exactly.
educating the mind is so that is required for very seriously by the school authority, and otherwise the only the pedagogy will not be sufficient, as you have mentioned correctly. The pedagogy is not the sufficient, the blackboard systems is not sufficient. And today's also there is another taboo. We are totally I think it's my personal opinion, the student teacher interaction, physical interactions going to be dropped. So that is my think, the cons of digitization. So that also you can, if there is a maybe due to pandemic. So I put this way. Thank you, Dr. Rita.
I also would like to, like share something to you, sir. I mean, to all of you. You correct me if I, like if you, I mean, if I'm wrong in that, sharing these things, because there in the rural area, the school also needs to arrange certain kind of parent interactive sessions. The way they have this infrastructural facilities to arrange, but they should arrange, because psycho education to a parent is more important rather than educating a child, because as you rightly mentioned, sir, that the child is coming from a family, so that you need to find out the root of particular problem, the cause behind that. We need to do the root cause analysis. So whenever like a child coming up from a family which is like which the family believes that a girl child should not be getting a much education or some other taboos, right? So even if you are going to educate a child, nothing will be actually is going to take change, is going to be changed in the long run. So you need to find out to do the root cause analysis, you need to educate the parents accordingly, and you need to spread the awareness, maybe some community awareness, you need to do some community awareness, some psycho education to the parents, rather than, and followed by educating a child regarding his or her right. Okay, so every child has a right to education. So that, and a girl child is not a commodity. So it's a kind of like this type of this education should be given to parents followed by the child. So you are completely right in explaining that.
Thank
Sir. Thank you very much.
Any more questions, participants? George sir?
Yes, sir. എന്നെയാണോ വിളിച്ചത്?
വേറെ ജോജു ഉണ്ട്.
അയ്യോ സോറി
Yes,
സോറി
okay.
സോറി ഞാൻ കേട്ടത് ജ്യോതി എന്നായിരുന്നു.
Sir. Any more questions? Abhi sir? Sir is not connected audio. Yes. Thomas sir. Thomas, continue.
Hello,
Yes.
Jen sir.
Yes, continue.
So sorry to say that I couldn't attend the session because of the rush program today.
Okay.
Anyway, can you give me the record?
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Beena ma'am.
Sir,
Yes, continue.
it was a nice presentation by Rita ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have a small doubt. Responsible decision making. What is the relation with the cognitive dissonance? Please.
Okay. Yes, responsible decision making is one component, as I already mentioned, of SEL, and cognitive dissonance, something that when you have certain, your belief and your attitudes are not going in the same direction. So actually, that means it is actually when you are not in a cognitive consonance. I repeat, when you are not in a cognitive consonance, it is actually creating a dissonance within you. That means a kind of disequilibrium within you. And the moment you will have a disequilibrium, you will have a little bit of doubt in yourself. Okay, and that doubt will put you in a, will hamper your mental peace. And when we are not in a mental peace, we do not have mental peace, the chances of making responsible decision would be very, very less. So that's what the relationship is.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I can understand.
Yes, any more questions? Okay, Mr. Match. Okay. So we can wind up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks again. That was wonderful.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. We'll meet again.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you.